Alright, and we are live. Welcome, lads. This is the fifth episode, and also let me post about it on the CDG, just in case someone was interested. I hope you've been studying lately, or whatever. Just hope this at least is somewhat interesting for you, even if you do not plan on doing any aesthetics for the cup. I guess even just having a behind the scenes might be interesting for some of you. So that's how it is. Okay, so let me check. What should we do today? Let me grab the list. There we go. Also switch to desktop. There we go. So we have done all of these already. Yes, basic level, beginner level. We had done these last time. Head models, and also selecting and joining meshes. Making UVs, I should talk a little more about that today. And how to open a steady model. We could probably get to that. And I also want to make a different head model. Instead of using a model from a video game, I'm gonna use an MMD today, which is a little more complicated. Time for the teapot. Okay, take over the wall. Yeah, the same we do every night. And we might have some time to try and open a stadium model. Maybe. I'll try. I do have a few things I need to do in a certain stadium, so that might be helpful. Also, yeah, I could talk about shading too. Maybe if I get to that. Okay, let me get some. Let me see, old man. The usual music. I can't remember. Oh, we were here, I guess. Will be around here. Yeah, that should be a decent level. But let me switch to headphones. I'm used to speaking while wearing headphones. Okay. Okay. Let me minimize this. Okay. So we were the POSIC folder, which is not here. Let me try doing this. There we go. POSIC folder has everything, but quick heads up. The Blender starter pack, this one is old now. Yesterday? No, a couple days ago, a new version came out. I'm gonna show it to you. Should be around here. There it is, 5.2. And so now I put a list with all the plugins that are included. And here's the changelog. It comes with a new PES FMDL plugin which Foreground made, which I have shown last time. It has support especially for UV step as my material presets, texture directory preset, and a couple of minor things. And it comes with GIF2 PES instead of GIF2 PES. That's because it's the second version. It's the one I've shown you last time, but I'm gonna show you to you a little very quickly again because it's a little better than last time. And a new UV animation preview plugin, which I'm also gonna show to you today. For previewing UV step and UV scroll animations. That should be helpful. Also, Images and Planes is a plugin I found that was already in Blender, but becomes disabled by default. So I've enabled it. With this one, you can import images and have them directly on screen without having to create a mesh, give it UVs, and then grab a, let's see, any picture. Well, for example, this. You see, it gets made as a plane directly. It's a little quicker than creating a square and giving it UVs and then importing the image into it. Also, another thing, new plugin for importing GLB, GLTF files. This is something I have added months ago. I have no idea what it's for, but I left it in. I did import a model and I can't remember what it was. And a new plugin which brings back the traditional create new zip buttons. For those who are more experienced of you, you may remember that the old plugin made by Blender Unknown had this button here, create new scene. And if you click it, it's like doing Ctrl N and reloading the start file. So you can add stuff, and if you fuck up or you just wanted to import a model and then you want to import another one, you can click here, create new scene, and it will just restore the startup file. Yeah, I'm gonna enable the screencast keys here, but only when I start doing something. I'll just click in stuff now. And change the default clip start distance to 1 millimeter. That was a request by someone. And the clip distance is, if I press N, it's here. Start and end. It decides if you add an object, for example, that's a sphere, and you get very close to it, how close you need to be. Let me press 5. When you press 5, you're in the scene instead of just being a camera from outside. And you see that stuff looks a little different. And there we go. With Control and middle bounce button, you can get close, there, and there it clipped. If I increase this distance here to the default, for example, 15 centimeters, you can, there we go, it starts clipping earlier. You see that. If I lower it to 1 millimeter again, where is it? The fuck? Ah, there. Duck. Now we don't have any clipping. You need to get inside to clip through it. In the same way, if you make something very large, but this is still not big enough. Much bigger. Holy shit. This is the sun. No, this is Mayenga. Okay, you see, this is now 17.5 kilometers and of diameter. And there it is. This is the clipping you get if you get too far. Wow, this is funky. You see, Blender is kind of fun when you just play around with it. Anyway, if I make this so from here, if I make this distance smaller, it should start to clip sooner, I think. Yeah, there it is. So we are now 10 kilometers away, 11, and if the clip is less than 11 kilometers, the whole sphere clips. So making it 15 kilometers helps you be able to see anything, no matter how large it is. That's useful for stadiums, actually. Anyway, and that's it. So, make sure to download it from the usual place, the tools page of the wiki. That's Aesthetics Portal too, but also the best tools is the traditional place. All past versions, Blender, like this. Blender starter pack. Now, let me show you 1 second. This is actually a continuation of the previous lesson, which is the advanced number 1 lesson. So again, if you're just learning Blender, do not feel intimidated by this, because you do not need to learn. Let's see, let me screencast keys again. Okay. Now, the GIF to pass, which I've shown last time, now simply comes with load GIF. It used to come with locate Python, but now it actually locates Python on its own, which is kind of good, pretty good. And only if it cannot find it anywhere, it will give you a button to locate Python, so you can tell it where it is. But you should not normally need that, unless you don't have Python installed. But, well, that might be. The compiler nowadays does not need Python, so it is actually more common for people not to have Python installed. But to use this plugin, you need to have Python installed, unfortunately. Even so, Blender comes with Python integrated. The problem is that it's an old version. It's so old that this plugin cannot use it. And yeah, newer Blender versions will come with newer Pythons, but they're not worth the loss in ease of access yet. Anyway, load GIF. And I'm gonna try with the Master Spark, for example. So you double click the GIF. And now the stuff here is organized differently than we saw last time. All the settings were here, and we had one panel here and one here, but now we have one in the middle. Because we start with the name you picked, just to make sure you're loading the right one. It tells you the width and height of the GIF. It tells you how many frames it's got, and the total duration. And here you can say, I don't want to get everything. Get the starting frame and the maximum frames with 0 meaning all. If you only want, for example, 50, you type 50, and you see that the resulting animation will have 50 frames, and it will last 2 seconds and a half. Yeah, that's... let me check if I can fix that. The black layers on gray background. That's something, a property of the theme. And this is not great at all. User interface in maybe this. Let me check if it's that. Let me use OBS, share ads. Piccolo Pica. So this is 47 for A for F. 47 for A for F. Okay, so I can make this one lighter. See? Save? No, fuck, that wasn't it. Which one would it be? Blah blah blah. Bots. There it is. Bots. Because these are called bots. This has been coloring bots, and there it is. Much better. So this one was about here. There's something weird. So 47 for A for F. This is... Why does it go... whoa. Okay, when you go to maximum brightness, the color passes out. It was around here. I wanted to keep it like that, kind of gray, and... this should be better. I don't want to make it too bright. Yeah, is this readable enough? I think it is. I guess I have to post another Blender starter pack with just this change. But I do have another thing in mind. Anyway, save. It should be good. It's not perfect, but... Like drop downs. Drop downs. The test select shaded. Let's see. Whoa, yeah, that's not what I wanted. I wanted a test. Test is selected. I wanted an outline for the test, but it isn't. Oh well, this is fine enough. Anyway, as I was saying, if you set maximum frames to 50, it will tell you 50 frames. But since you have 72 frames, if you set the starting frame to 30, for example, even so you have maximum frames 50, it will tell you 43. And the duration will go down. That's something we have seen last time, actually. But now, the tile count is calculated on the fly depending on how many frames your animation has. So for example, if you have 36 frames, 41, 42, stuck. Now the tile count changes to 6 and 6. And if you set 25, it goes to 5 and 5. And the maximum texture width and height, the starting one, because you can set it even higher or lower, will get adjusted on the fly by multiplying simply the tile count by the width and the height. And then the resulting texture, if you haven't changed anything here, will be the same. And the tile width and height will be the same, but you can change it. For example, if you say, I want a 2048 texture with MIP, so I can have MIP maps. And I need to talk about MIP maps later. Maybe I have already, but it's okay. 2048 and 2048. Now it tells you, well, I'm actually gonna make it 2045 because that's what fits 5 perfectly. And it will still not have no MIP maps. If you go 6, it will go to 46. So the trick here is that if you really want a texture that has powers of 2 as width and height, you need to have powers of 2 as tile counts. So with 8 you have a good texture. The problem is that the tiles inside, as you see here, will be smaller than your original GIF. So with all of that said, the easiest way is just keep the settings it gives you. So keep everything like that. You will not have MIP maps, that doesn't matter. Tile mode stretch is okay since the tiles are the same as the original GIF. DDS is fine. Here, it's something I have added. Yeah, last time you couldn't see this. Last time it would only export as PNG and you had to convert it. Now you also get DDS straight out of the box, preferred for PES. And you can choose the compression. BC3 is DSC5, the usual. You get BC7, which only works on PES 19 and 21. And that's actually fine because only 19 and 21 support UV scroll and UV step anyway. And PES 20, but that's 21 anyway. And you get also uncompressed, which I only recommend if your texture is small, otherwise you make a huge texture. BC7 is really good. It's pretty close to uncompressed and it's as large as DST5. So what's the drawback with BC7? Why is it not the default? But the problem is that, let's try with DST5. Tack. And there we have it. It's pretty quick now. I have improved that. Tack, tack, tack. And you see that the texture is just the frames, the 26 frames we have picked. And we see later a preview. So if I delete this and tell it to create a BC7 texture, actually let me do a new scene. Ah, fuck. There we go. No, not model. I have to open this. There we go. Tack. Oh, it takes longer because BC7 takes longer to compress. You got pink. Oh, that's a lot of pink, and that's even more pink. Anyway. The problem is that Blender cannot open BC7 textures, this old version of Blender. So you should first preview your sheet on PNG or TDS and Compressor BC3, and once it works fine as you want it with the things you want, you should export it as BC7 and keep it there. Let's see. Also, if I go to the folder where this was created, where is it? Animation and did not save it. Ah, because I made it with all the frames. So this is old. This is old. This one. So you see that Windows can open it fine. Let's see if Quick Look can open it fine, and of course Paint.net can open it fine. Wow, the quality! Holy shit, it's great quality. But yeah, so you cannot preview it here. That's it. Let's try again. Now I wanted to show you another thing about this plugin, and I'm almost done. Now you can also load, I mean, you could load them before, but now it supports and GIF animations with varying delays. So for example, the FOE emote, let me grab it. Put it here. GIF FOE. Now, when you load a GIF with variable frame delay, it tells you variable frame delay detected, and it tells you source frames 11, duration 21.5. But if, for example, you tell it to give you 10 frames. The duration is 9 seconds, because the last frame has a duration of 12 seconds. So let's try getting them all and see what happens. Get this, this, and you also get a timing UV map with a timing texture. You see that the first frame is pretty long, then you get long, kind of short, very short ones, and then a very long one, and an extremely long one again. So now I'm gonna show you the animation previewer. So after you create a mesh with an animation, you can open this one here, UV animation preview. It tells you detecting materials UV step 1, UV scroll 0, speed multipliers 1, okay, preview. And look at this when I click. Tack. It just works. And then it goes back to bolts. I'm also seeing that there's some bleed. You can see it here from the UV maps, from the MIP maps. I should actually make it give at least a pixel or two of blank space around, so that doesn't happen. As you see, the problem is here. The borders are way too tight. Also, if you want, for example, to pause it a certain second, you can grab from the angle here, click and drag, and then set it to the timeline. You see that the timeline is running. This stops and runs when you click here, this button, preview. And so you can also pause it. You can, with the right click button, set a specific frame. You're getting mauled by the boy. Anyway. And if one needs to say on, otherwise it doesn't work. Even doing S lessons, FOE, yeah. Now, the last one I wanted to show you. Let me reload. Another example of the same thing with variable preview is this one. You get with the animation preview, tag. And the last frame has a longer delay than the others. Let's take a look again. You get short frames, and on the last it keeps going. There we go. On the last one, which is white, it's very long. There we go. And these are the frames. So thanks to the timing map, you don't need to put this last one again and again and again and again if you want to make it longer than the others. You just let it create a timing map and you're done. And if something breaks, which hasn't happened lately to me, but might happen, it might happen that if you're retarded and don't read this, disable the preview before editing UVs, and click here and edit the UV. Oh, what happened? The UV that's supposed to be here is now here. Okay, no big deal. The plugin will restore it back when you exit edit mode, and it's back here. If someday, at some point, it gets stuck and it goes here, for example, and it stays there, even after exiting this, you can do restore base UVs, and it will restore them to what they were. So this is an emergency button. Okay, that's all. Let's go back to the basic stuff, the beginner stuff. Maybe have some water first. Check the CG. They're probably talking about the matches on VGLL. Okay, never mind. Okay, great new scene. So what should I do now? I need to grab an MMD now. Why could I grab one? Let's see. Oh, this is all. Let me try something else for FCOG. I got plenty of models which I've never converted here. Let's see. I wanted to make a kit, but default Migo MMD model. Well, sure. But do you have one in hand? Can you post it? I wasn't gonna go with one of these. And I guess so many. I think he's looking for it. Let's take a look at the one we made last time, meanwhile. So it was here, faces, and it was Ayo. So this one was a model style, so for pre-photos. So it's got face high. It was using the template, the hair high. So we added the hair high to the last mesh. And I think it worked. I don't think... We'll probably have to link to an MMD download. Yeah, that's fine, actually. Let me just go to Bow Roll. No. But yeah, I have no idea who any of these are. Utau. Let's see, Utau. That's another website. Let's do a Teto. But I need to look how she's called in Japanese. There we go. Man, there must be so many. Oh, there we go. What? Okay, here's one. Password, but should be fine. I think this one looks a little bit cuter. Okay. It's a new version. I need to log in. Let me do that here. Let's look for this one. Oh, what? Spied! This is the first time I see something like this on Bow Roll. Holy shit. I have to go for the other one. So, is it? So the password, let's see. Should be in the video. So welcome to the world of looking for MMDs. Oh, there we go. There's the password. That's done. But I need to show original. Password. This Teto San SV. Oh no, this is Chan actually. San. Let me look in a sec. Yeah, I have already grabbed a Teto, but thanks anyway. What's that MD, by the way? Teto San, yeah, San. Miku Dance V202. I have no idea what it is. Anyway, let's try with Teto. I'm gonna keep this one here. Let's make a copy. So, yeah, let's finish looking at AUO 1 second. AUO is pretty simple. It comes from the template. And the template already has the materials all set for you. So you don't need to look at this shit here. But for this next lesson, which we're finally starting after 36 minutes, shit, we are gonna have a look at the materials, at what they are, how they work. So you can edit those, and by editing those, in some cases, you actually have to put less work than by combining textures. We'll see about that. Okay, you always need a starting folder. It can be just a copy of another folder, that's fine. And then the model. So when you open a zip with an MMD and try just extracting it with 7-zip or Windows Unzipper, there's an issue. Okay, this time there's no issue. Normally, if it's got Japanese names on the textures, they come out garbled. It's called mojibake. And so you need to use WinRAR, because WinRAR lets you choose the... Holy shit, this is huge. When will Windows manage to handle different DPI, different monitors properly? Never. Anyway, there we go. When you open this, you can tell it if it comes garbled here too. You can say options, naming coding, Japanese shift JIS. You can pick this and it will come properly, and then you can just extract it here. And once you've done that, you can also start using it from the context menu. So you can do right click, WinRAR, extract here. It's the only thing I use WinRAR for, because I hate it otherwise. I wish 7-zip had something like this. Alright, anyway, the textures are fine, great. README. Okay, change shock knock to you too, young lady. And here's the PMX, which is the model. We need to grab Blender, new scene, Screencast keys. There we go. File, import, Miku Miku Dance model. And now, if you are not using the starter pack, you need to make sure to disable physics. If you are using the starter pack, you don't need to care about that, because physics are kind of a bunch of boxes, more boxes, all around the body, which tell MMD, the actual program, which parts are in contact with each other, more or less, let's say. So it's all done for the physics part. I'm just repeating myself, but it's for example, the skirt animation and stuff like that. We don't need it on Blender. 24 megabit, holy shit. This might be a little loud now. Yeah. Okay. So, here's Teto. Meantime, you can grab the microphone. Well, the one that Hitler posted was like 20 megabytes. Anyway. So, when you import an MMD, you will see first that it's a giant. So, we are making aesthetics for D now. Because the size of a regular player, this 1 meter, these 2 meters, the size is about 180 or 160, 180. The default size for PES. And then it gets scaled to the actual size. So, this Teto is, let's see. It's 6 meters tall. Imagine. Really? That's a bit weird here. The thing is... No, wait. No, that is. She's 21 meters tall. So she's as tall as a building with 7 floors, more or less. Alright, so what's up with that? And the fact is that the scale in Blender is set up to the same scale as PES, which is a tenth of everything else. So whenever you import something like this, you need to select everything with A and do S.1 to scale it by 0.1. Or you can do S/10, but that's actually lower. Anyway, and now she's fine. But yeah, she's including this thing here, she's 2 meters and 10 tall. She's actually 197. She's tall, holy shit. But that doesn't matter. And now you also see that this MMD, like every other MMD, came with a skeleton. The skeleton is something that we will see more in detail in a future lesson. But let me just tell you right now, there is something you can use to... It will be like this actually. Like this. Okay. Okay, I have no idea why it bends like that, but it must be because of these green bones. But it's something you can use to pose the model, to align it with the default body before spotting it as an MMD. So that's what you were talking about with 7-Simp, fucking with nib letters. Let's see, it should be... yeah. Let me show it here. So this is Mojibak. And why does it happen? It happens because NIPs, when they create their zips, the zip files, use Windows integrated zip creator or some other old tool, which instead of using their universal standard called UTF, which is universal, the U is for universal, it uses their own encoding, which is Japanese, and it's completely non-standard. So when you use a standard tool to unzip it, it comes out like that, It doesn't read properly. Also, wow, I noticed that on the stream, the background here of Firefox, which is all filled with noise, but it's something you cannot even see on your actual on your own PC. You cannot see here. On stream it gives a moire effect, kind of weird. Minecraft. Okay. English. Yeah, it's kind of like that thing with comics. Let's see, comics, and yeah, for example, here that if you zoom out, you start seeing them in a weird way. And because of the alignment, yeah. Okay, anyway, back to this. There's a way to solve this thing here, but I'm not gonna talk about that now. I'm just gonna hide the skeleton. So I open here and open, and here's the mesh. Here's the skeleton, which is also the parent of the mesh, but that doesn't matter. We can just hide it by clicking the eye here. And now it looks cleaner. Oh no, she's got spots. And something else I'm gonna set to shadeless, which is viewport texture. There we go. Now she looks more like it. And now we're gonna grab just the head, like last time. So, another problem with MMDs. You get one mesh, but if you try to enter edit mode, man, okay, look, this is the UV map, and using dragging down. Interesting, you can see the up and down here. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Anyway, this is an absolute clusterfuck. And Mapping every pixel as intended. Yeah. And the thing is, this is all for various textures. So, what do you do about that? Is do simply, while the cursor is here on the 3D view, you do P. P is for separate. It tells you separate what? Selection by material or by loose parts. If you do selection, it will simply, let me select just a little bit. It will simply grab what you've selected and separate it so slow into another mesh. When you exit edit mode, you get this. My name is Yoshikage Kira. Anyway, let's undo. We are no Kira here. And we do separate by material, because MMDs have got a lot of materials which are dedicated to the various meshes, the various textures actually. P by material. It takes a lot because it's a very, holy shit. It 790,000 edges, almost 300k vertices, 500k faces. That's like a whole stadium. Okay, so now it's edit mode, and now you see we get a lot of meshes. A lot of meshes. So now the problem is, there's another problem of course. What texture goes into each mesh? Well, when you enter edit mode for each and select all, holy shit, it gives you the texture just for that. So A, and you see we get this texture for this part. But there's also another way. If you click here on the texture tab, you will see here in particular, in all the tool here, it tells you the image being used for that. Why do we need to know that? We need to know that because some meshes, despite having different materials, use the same texture. So eye white, mouth, hands, skirt red, body, skirt red, there it is. So the skirt red. Why are there different materials? Because they have a secondary texture, which is clothes on one and skirt spa on the other. Spa is probably specular, which is for reflections. Don't mind that yet. So we have to mesh them, so we don't have a million meshes. So that's a way I use for this. First of all, I switch the texture view to the outliner. What's the outliner? This is the outliner. So this is the outliner too. The interesting thing about Blender is that you can put anything wherever you want. So you can have the outliner 2 times. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have it here or there. And with all this space here, we can see all of them at the same time. And what I do now is click on a mesh, copy the mesh name, and paste it as the name of the mesh. Do it here again. Do it again. And so on. And whenever you see a mesh that's using a texture you have already named, you can either name it anyway. We'll get to that in a second. Mouse. For example, we have mouse here, and this one is mouse. If you name it mouse, that's fine. You will take 001, and then you can mesh them at the end. Or if you, for example, if you see this one is pants and this one is pants, this one is pants, this one is pants, this one is pants, you can immediately shift click. It doesn't show shift here, but click, shift click, shift click, shift click, shift click, and then merge them together, and then only name the first one because they all using the same texture anyway. I'm gonna undo. Okay, and I probably do that in a bit. So let's keep going. Pants, got red, body. There's another body here, but it's fine. Let's let it go there. Let's get red again. It's fine. Boots. Let me take a look, a preview at a peek at the textures. Boot, eye, Mayu, belt, shawl, gray, black, gold, black. Man, so many textures. Spots, black, red shape, blah 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 blah. Okay. They're all using different textures. Holy shit, what a cursed model. Usually you end up with like 7 or 8 textures, but here we got like 15 maybe, or 20. Anyway, something I was forgetting is that we actually do not need to name all the meshes. That's only if we are making an FBM. But now we're only focusing on the head, so let's just delete stuff first. Delete this. No, that deleted the neck. Let's do it by with wireframe. Wireframe much simpler. This covers everything. I think it's the outline. Yeah, black. I'm gonna hide it. There we go. There's a color here. Nah, let's not keep it. Okay, I'm gonna delete some stuff from this one. B and that. Add and click. Tap it to synthetic mode. So this is all stuff we done before. So if you have no idea what I'm doing, go watch the previous tutorials. Okay, so we now got the head only. We still got quite a few materials. Meshes, I mean. And you can see here below, behind, the other expressions. Oh, what are those for? This is something you could learn already. So, before combining, sorry, I'll do it after combining the mesh into one. Actually, no, we don't combine it, but let's split it again. Link to combine it again and then split it again later. Join? What? Didn't join? Ah, because this is... Ah, that's one, this one which I had hidden. Need to clean it a little. So select this, all of this, and then Ctrl L to expand the selection to the linked stuff. Delete. Okay. Weird. These are stray vertices, I think. No, they're not. Oh. Okay, Ctrl L. Man, this is so split. Okay. This thing here is also very split. Holy shit. The fact that it's split, which you can see by the fact that it separates away without taking everything with it, makes the link selection fail after a certain point. So you have to do it by hand. Okay, I can do linked here. we go. And there's still a little piece here. Okay, I think we're done. Yep, let's delete. So yeah, you see this kind of scene outline, and it's giving her some volume, because without it you get this, and with it you get this much better. As you see, outlines are usually very useful, even when they're very thin. Even when you can barely see them, like here, they still help a lot. Let me check something. Even her mouse has an outline. Oh. Her eyes? Weird. So the outline is coincidental with the eyes. Huh. It's a very interesting technique. Anyway. Although this editor has a kind of a Shite Yanyo effect, where she's looking at you. Not so pronounced, but it's kind of there. Yeah, with this part here. That is done with concave eyes. This is not a real grill. She's real to me, damn it. Okay, let's keep going. Ah, yeah, what I wanted to do here, just to show you, is combine everything. Okay, now she's back into one mesh. When it's one mesh, man, you can see them here, sparkles. What the fuck is that? Man, this thing here. Holy shit. I'll delete it later. Anyway, when it's one mesh, here in the data tab, which is the one with the vertex groups, the UV maps, it's got kind of tight shape keys. Well, these they're all in NIP usually, and if you click this, I mean, they're all pre-made shapes, by the way. And how do you know which is which without reading NIP? You can click this. Always show the current shape for this object. When you do that, whichever you click will act. So you see they're pre-made poses. And here's got the magic pizza. And you can also click on one and then press down, 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 down. And these are her eyebrows. So, and if you say, but I want this mouse, or this mouse smiling with these eyes, and the sexy eyes, well, you can do a mix. You can first release the previewer, which is this, and then you give it a value. Right? You can type it or click and drag, and look at this here. It gives it more or less of that effect. They're all transformations, they're called, which use the vertex groups and certain bones to move stuff around. So I can give it this, and then grab another one, which I can't remember which. This maybe? And then you get a meat. That's a meat. And then maybe some eyebrows. This one moves this one. There. Not still enough. I can't remember which one was it. Let's try pinning again and see which one was it. This one. So with this one, if you give it, it will do this transformation here, which is kind of weird. We close her eyes, put some skin on it, and then make the thingies which are inside her head go up. Anyway, if you happen to want a certain combination for your model and you're happy with the way it turned out, what you need to do to keep it on, because this one depends on the vertex groups. The vertex groups will be deleted when you port it to PES. You cannot keep them, not the original ones. And if you delete everything, literally sticks. But maybe when you delete the modifier, no, that one keeps it anyway. Okay, never mind. But yeah, when you want to spot it here, it will tell you, no, it's got shape keys and you cannot spot it. And that's something you will see often, actually. You need to come here and do delete all shapes. This time it actually kept that one. No, never mind, there we go. It was just a preview. When you enter edit mode and exit, you see it has returned to where it was. So if you want to keep it, you need to first do new shape from meets, and this is the shape. You need to give it 1 full, and it will actually double your effect, which is not something you want. But bear with me for a second. And now you need to do delete one by one by clicking minus. It's got a no. I think you need to keep the basic one actually. Basics should stay for now. Okay. Delete. Fuck. Because it goes from bottom to top. I need to click this one, which is the second to last one, and delete. There we go. When you delete the ones you had chosen, the double effect goes away. Man. Okay. Fuck, it's so slow now. I see why. Because Blender is keeping a history of all the shape keys, and for each history step is a whole copy of the model. And that's currently 6 GB of RAM, and I currently got 16 only. I need to install some other RAM I got, which seems to have some issues. So anyway, my RAM is gone. Yeah. Oof. Anyway, it's gonna make it anyway. Can you just shift click? No, you cannot. Thanks, Blender. There we go. And now we can delete the bases. And now we can delete this one. And when we do, it has kept it as the basis. There we go. Okay, that's the shape keys. Rip C drive. Yeah, it's not even in good shape because it's an SSD, and SSDs should be kept with at least at the very least 10%, so they have a space to move around. I need to free it a little. And yeah, in the virtual memory usage, but that's something that goes to the page file, which is pre-allocated, so when he hits that, he uses a little more after that. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of recording, writing to the drive. That's not good, really. Anyway, we can do, for example, a save and reload. Let's save. Go 0, 0. And saving is something you really should do often. Add only, for example, so that at each step you get a backup, so you can go back if you made a mistake that cannot be reversed. And save. And this is large. Okay, now we can do create new scene, and it will free my 6 GB of RAM. Now we can Ctrl Shift O, open recent. There we go. It's only half a gigabyte now. I was looking at this. Interesting. Anyway, now we can delete these things here. And there are more there. Wait, A, E. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we can split it again by materials. Okay. So we got 13 meshes. Not great, not terrible. Let's do it again. If you get this when clicking the texture tab, empty, and that's normal when you open a new scene, you have 2 ways to actually show the texture. This is where you just go to material and then go back to texture. Or you can click here, material textures. So the usual is just you go first here and do some stuff and then go to textures and it will be fine. But if you first go to textures, do one of the other 2. 1 second. Okay. Give me a second, I need to take something. Alright, I had to take a pill. Thanks, Doc. So, yeah, let's finish with this. And man, we have picked a very bad model for this, but maybe it's actually a good model for this. Yeah, it could be a good model for this. Anyway, we were doing this. Copy the names into the meshes. They're all black now, but actually let's do this first. I'm gonna name it something else before splitting. So we don't confuse them. A ribbon. black. Body. Eye. White. Base 1. Mouse. Mouse again. There. Eye highlight. IU1, whatever that is. Hair red. Hair red shade. Man. This mouse, so it goes with that. John. Okay. It's a lot of meshes still. Now that we have renamed them and done everything, we don't need this outliner here. We can keep this one here, the usual. So I can go back to the UVM image editor. And now let me do just a little bit of work here. So there's a problem here. The problem is if I grab this and do the usual tack, the thing I've done last time to make the neck a little more consistent. The problem is that the outline doesn't have the same work done into it. So what I can do now, I'm gonna undo and click the outline and then mesh itself, both of them, and do T to open this panel here and do a multi-edit. When you do multi-edit, you get a new mesh called multi-edit, and the other two meshes, the two you have selected, are moved away and hidden. And you get a mesh which combines the two, so you can edit it as if it were one. And after that, you need to do multi-edit exit, tack, and it will crash. Man, it looks like it doesn't like this mesh. It will normally restore the two meshes with the edits you've made. It looks like this time it has crashed. Wow. Never happened before. Let's just close it. Man, I should have saved before doing the multi-edit. Maybe that's a quick save. Let's see. Recover last session. Let's cross our fingers. Tack. No! This is our arch enemy, Cone. Okay, Ako question. What is Koikatsu? Koikatsu is a game called Koikatsu Party. And as you see, you can customize girls, and well, the base game is about school at life, life at school. Sorry, life at school, and there's many girls, and yeah, it's a yeah, I remember now. The base game story is that you're a guy, and you have transferred to another city, okay, and your aunt is the principal of an all-girls school and said, I'm gonna get you into my school so you can create some chaos by fucking all the girls. What an aunt. I want one of those. So she told her, your school club will be Koikatsu, and a club made for teaching girls how to love, and you can also fuck them. So you can go talk to all the girls in school, and first you have to woo them and get some friendship and then some romance and stuff like that. Yeah, and then the thing is, people make a lot of characters from. You can make custom characters and share them with all the pieces of her and accessories that are available in the game and through mods. There are a lot of mods. Look at that! What the fuck? And so people make several characters. For example, this. They make VTubers and stuff like that. They make Komi. And so when you cannot find the model for a certain character and you cannot even find an MMD, Koikatsu is usually the last resort because it's a fucking pain and a half to import into Blender. You usually need to have all the mods installed in your PC just for a little tiny accessory that they put just to be accurate to the actual model. But it works. And it's fairly accurate too. So that's Koikatsu. KK. KKP, you may have heard of. Does it have fully modeled areas? Yes. Antsushi. That Aun reminds me of a different Roge. Huh. And it's also got VR, so it's probably the best way to fuck someone in VR. Never tried that. Alright, so we're back to Kon. Kon has won this time against Cube. So we need to do that again. Fuck. Forgive me for a second. I even need to delete this shit here. Shit. At least I know where it is. Because I know where it's not. Where it isn't. Now I can split. I need to screencast keys first. Oh, let me do this too. That, I think it was, yeah. Clicks. Right clicks. Tak. I prefer doing. If it's not how I want it, click and click. Now it's good. It doesn't tell you when you do Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Interesting. I really need to look for. If you do it here, it says you Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Why was Constanza copied? If I just copied this. Anyway, I guess that's because I didn't do Ctrl C here and I did it here. Yeah, Ctrl C, Ctrl V don't work here. But here it works. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going insane. Sorry. That's usual for aesthetics. Actually, I'm not going insane. I was already insane. You need to be insane to do this shit. When it's an MND. That's why I don't like making models that much. Holy shit. I don't like making models. Yeah, that's the truth. I actually just like innovating. Finding new stuff, new techniques for people to use. And then let other people do the dirty work. Okay, we're back here. So, As I was saying, let me fucking save this shit here, so in case it... One blend, no. One test. Enter. Return. Now, I wanted to close this. Yes. What I'm gonna do then is just join them. So I can do multi-edit without using that plugin, which seems to be a little unstable sometimes. I'm gonna delete a few vertices. And then this one, go to 0, plus, Control plus, S dot 5. Ah, that's not the dot. Dot 5. Control plus, S dot 5. Control plus, S dot 5. There we go. I should still do one more. Plus S dot 5. Yeah, this is decent. And now I need to split these two again. One is body, the other is black. And this is body, this is black. Alright, so now that we have the model and it's all ready to use, and I'm back here. What we did last time with Gilgamesh AUO was grabbing the textures, grabbing all the textures we need, which are her red shade, I1, and a lot of others, and open them in Blender, in Paint.net, and combine them into a single texture. And then take all of this and move them. Let me show you on AUO. Model AUO. Move them. I need Control O. Alt O. And move them into various places according to the texture that we're using. You may remember now. If you don't, it means you haven't watched that. Go watch. And that's good when you only have 4, 5 or 6 textures, but when you have 14 meshes, 14 textures, that's a little too much. So what do we do here? We assign a different texture to each of them by keeping the original ones. So let me copy them to the face. Okay, red. Shade black. Let me check something. Holy shit. The black texture is 2048 by 2048. Talking about optimizing your shit. Anyway, black body. Body is also a single text, a single color, and it's huge. I1 Kyle. Where is it? Ah, this I higher. I white. Which is not actually white. Great. Phase 1. Probably the only actually useful texture. Hair ribbon. Mayu 1. Mouse. Tere. Actually, Tere is a blush mesh. Should we keep it? Yeah, actually, it's really fun. If we don't use it, it's like this. She already has some blush. With the blush, she is really blushing. up to you whether you want to keep it or not. Depends on the model you're making, on the player you want to make it for. So copy, paste. Alright, and now we need to convert all of them to DDS. As they are. Maybe actually optimize a few. Yeah, they're all fucking huge. So this one is 1024 per 2024 is alright. It's got some detail on it. So you can keep it like that. It's used for this. It doesn't need all that detail. It could be 512 per 512 and it will be fine, but let's keep it like that. The eye, it's too big. It's this. Let's make it 512 and use adaptive sharp. That's fine. Okay, this texture here is all white and it's way too huge. Single color textures, so solid colors, should be a 64. This has this thingy here, mouse, but it's something no one will see because her mouse is, well, her mouse is open, but where's that detail? It's not even using that. What the fuck? So again, it's a single color, 64. This one has some detail, has twists. And you see that it's very complexly textured into the hair. So it's got all the yeah, it can still be half because it's, I mean, it does deserve detail, but not so much. You can do 140, 34. Same for this one. Now this Mayu, what's that? Let me close this. It's her eyebrows and eyelashes. It doesn't need much detail. You can keep it at 512. It looks the same. This is single color, and 1, 2, 3. I did Ctrl 1 by mistake and it took me back to the beginning. Anyway, so this is the blush. This can be 512. And this is her face. Let me check the others. There's also this black. It's got some details, so 512. And the others. So since we got 1, 2, 3 textures which are 2024, we can afford a fourth one. And the others 512 or lower. Okay, now I need to save each of them as DDS. So Ctrl Shift S, Tab D, Enter. This is my trick, my quick way to do that. And let's keep them DST5. Yeah. Meep maps, font is fine for that. Okay, and enter. And now I do Ctrl Shift Tab, and it takes me to the last one here. I'm going in reverse. Why? Because I do Ctrl Shift Tab, Ctrl Shift S, Tab D, Enter, Enter. Ctrl Shift Tab, Ctrl Shift S, Tab D, Enter, Enter. So that's a quick way to do everything. If you do not make mistakes like I just did. So Ctrl Shift Tab S, Tab D, Enter, Enter. Tac, 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 tac. No. Now I did Ctrl Shift D, which is to duplicate the layer. I really wish I could show you the keys for this. I need to look for some software. Let's see. Yeah, this is the Blender. Keystro. Something like this is what I want. Oh, 1 second. This is even more perfect, but this guy doesn't have any idea how he got it. It's probably something that his workplace installed. Alt FVE to save as JPEG in Paint. Huh. Let's see this one Keystro, how it looks. Ah, if it looks like this, it should be fine. It goes in the Microsoft Store, fuck that. Let's see here. Both soft. Ah, okay, you can grab it from here. No. Holy shit, purchase. $20. Well, I can try the portable. The free to try. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now enabled. Doesn't seem to be working. I'm pressing A, but nothing's happening. Key. Settings. No idea. Oh well. That's it. No. Ah, just open OSK. There we go. Let's see. No, that's... Yeah, the built-in Windows screen keyboard is not very helpful. It takes a lot of space just to show. And it doesn't even show. I'm pressing A and it doesn't show it. Control A. It does show Control, but not A. No, it doesn't work. Let's see this one. Karnak. That's to click. Yeah, but that's not... What I want to do is for some program to show what I'm pressing on Blender or any other program. Blender, I got this, okay, great. But when I'm here on Paint.net, I want something similar. I want something program agnostic. Let's hope this zip is for Windows, otherwise we're fucked. This is the last try I'm giving it, otherwise I'm going back to finishing the head. No, this is just setup.exe. Is there? No? Hey? Oh, yeah, but it only shows up on the bottom right or the main monitor, so not good either. Never mind, I'll look for something for next time. Sorry for that. So, we still have this and this. Okay, we are done here. The Teto folder has DDS for each PNG. And now we have to delete the PNG, which we can do by switching to this and type, sorting by type and deleting all the PNGs. Okay. I'm gonna delete this one too. And Karnak is the log, yeah. What we do next? Man, I'm gonna have to finish this because we're running late. I'm gonna finish next time. Yeah, I'm gonna finish here, but... And preview. What we're gonna do is for each of them, delete the material they had, add a new one with constant. Then I'm gonna reuse it for all of them and give them the texture here according to how they're called. This is hair ribbon, but without the PNG, and that's all we need to do. And set it to the face folder. Fuck, sorry. This is for the pod stuff. No, we actually just need to come here and set material name to the name of the texture. We can even keep the PNG, I think. Better not, actually. And then we're gonna come here to where the materials are and name it like that. For example, here. A ribbon. Set it as the name of the texture and set shader constant. Or shadeless, which is the most modern one. And that's it. We're gonna have to do this for and copy paste for each material, and you're done. So in some ways it's quicker than making a mosaic, a collage, and then moving all the UVs. In some ways it's slower. And some people prefer one, some the other, and it depends on the model. But we'll see the end of that next time. Alright guys, hope you liked that, and see ya probably next Friday or maybe next Thursday. I'm gonna check. Keep an eye on the calendar. Alright, bye.